Good evening. What's going on? What's up with it? This is your man Frank, a view from the man cave. Welcome. Welcome to View from the Man Cave, a place for honest, intellectual, and informative dialogue and discourse about all things related to masculinity and manhood, responsibility and respect, provision and protection. So let's talk about it. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. All right, everybody. Good evening. Hope everybody's good tonight. Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Election Tuesday. Um, so yeah, man. So I'm watching. I got my TV on, my tablet on, so I'm watching the election. You know what I mean? Right now, seeing how things play out. It's a little early right now. Both candidates have taken a couple of states. I think um, Biden has won Virginia, Trump has won Kentucky, and and another state, I think West Virginia. So that's where we're at right now with that. But I hope everybody had a great weekend. I hope you all had a good weekend, enjoyed yourselves. I hope you were being safe, washing your hands, um, putting on your mask and all of that. You know what I mean? Um, I see my fam was good. Was good. Salute to you. And Miss Rivers, of course, as always. So I hope everybody had a good weekend, man. I did. I enjoyed my weekend thoroughly. It was my birthday weekend. So this past Thursday, October 29th, was my birthday. I turned 39 years old, man, 39 years young. I can't believe it, man. I'm still here, rocking, enjoying life, man, growing, evolving, and improving nonstop. This was the kid right here. This was young Frank, young View from the Man Cave. And, I went through a few things from this point in my life, but I'm here now, man, happy. 39 years young. So my wife and I, we got our kids, godmom, to come to the house and watch the babies here. And we went to go hang out, man. We got a big house, man. Nice big house out in Delaware. Had a couple of our married couple friends come out there with us to celebrate. So we had a ball, man. We were out there in Delaware, near Ocean City. And like I said, man, we rented a nice house, man, something like this, just something to live in and enjoy ourselves in for, 3, 4, 5 days or whatever. So, this was the spot, man. So we rented this spot, bought this spot in Delaware for a week or so, stayed there, man. Nice spot, beautiful spot, man. Just very plush, 3 floors, very spacious. You know what I mean? There was an elevator in the joint. We just had a lot of fun, man, just hanging out, enjoying our friends and enjoying life, celebrating my birthday, man. We watched the Tank fight on Saturday night. Tank did what I expected him to do. If you haven't seen my video on my channel about about Tank and his fight, I did a prediction video for the fight. It premiered Friday at 8:30, I believe, and it was great. You know what I mean? It happened almost exactly the way I predicted it. I predicted that Tank, keys to victory for him would be the uppercut. You know what I mean? For him to land some power shots. And I felt like Leo Santa Cruz was tailor made for him. You know what I mean? So that played itself out beautifully. But again, I just enjoyed my weekend, man. With family, with friends. I had a great time, man. A lot of laughs, a lot of bonding, a lot of good energy out there. So, it was what it was. So, but anyway, man, on this edition tonight, on View from the Man Cave, I'm going to open up another episode of the Man Cave Mail series. This series has really taken off in the last month or so. And I credit that all to my fans, to the supporters of the channel, to my subscribers. I kind of put it out there. I put my information out there for the people to say, hey, look, if you have any questions, you have any comments, you want my opinion on something, please let me know. Send me an email and I'll respond. And I've done that. So I've gotten a plethora of emails from supporters of the channel and, who've asked some very interesting questions. And I've done my best to answer those. So right now we're on episode 3. We're on episode 3 in the Man Cave Mail series. I have about 2 or 3 more in the works. you know what I mean, that I'm going to schedule. Ted, what's going on, man? Ted Matrix, shout out, salute. What's up with it? And so I have about 2 or 3 more Man Cave series coming. But as I said, right now we are on Man Cave Mail episode 3. So basically what this series is I have supporters of the channel who will email me questions about, you know, whatever's on their mind, whatever's on their heart. And so they'll ask me my opinion. They'll say, Frank, hey, what do you think about this? You know, I would love your perspective on this. And so it's really been great. It's taken off. It's taken off leaps and bounds. So I think the first one was about preparing for marriage. I think the second one was about the pleasure principle. A young lady emailed me and asked me, how can women be better lovers for the men in their life, their husband, their fiance, their boyfriend, whatever. So I've done that. And tonight, again, we're on episode 3. So I'm going to read this email from this sister, and then I'm going to break it down. You know what I mean? I'm going to break it down for you. So I'm going to read the email, obviously, you know, for all the people who are interested in sending me an email and asking me, you know, about a topic that you want me to do on the show. Please do that. As you've seen from the first 2 series and tonight, I'm going to keep your name and all your personal identifiable information private. Of course, I'm just going to read the general information of the email, and then I'll break it down. So here we go. So she says, hello, Frank. I hope you're well. I wanted to write to you today in relation to your YouTube channel. I was wondering, when you have the chance, if you could please speak to the topic of soul ties. Recently, I was watching a relationship coach's video, and in it, he stated, please excuse my language, she says, but men don't heal, they hoe. He went on to explain that sometimes men don't even feel the onslaught of raw emotion created from a breakup until years down the line. And that is why some men do return to their exes, and why the common phrase of men always come back is used. I also believe in the video, a famous study done of men and women was referenced, in which the study showed that although women initially have a harder time right after the breakup, it is actually men who suffer from the pains of a breakup long term, which is why we will often hear of the extreme stories of some men who are hurt by an ex years prior, still angry at all women. Frank, as a masculine man who holds what I find to be a balanced perspective, I was wondering if you could please delve into this more. How do men truly handle soul ties? And does the degree of the relationship, such as a marriage versus the soul tie of a past girlfriend, affect how men handle it? An example, does the soul tie become deeper if you're married as opposed to it just being a past girlfriend? Thank you so much, Frank, for your time, and congratulations on hitting 1,000 subscribers. You deserve it, and so much more. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to this young lady. Immediately when I got the email from her, I responded to her and I let her know that I would be more than happy. I would be more than honored to tackle this topic on my channel. I think it's very important to have a connection, to have a bond or relationship with your subscribers, and to give the people what they want. So it is my responsibility to answer the questions of the people in a way that only I can do it, you know, from my perspective, and then we'll go from there. So we're going to talk about soul ties tonight. I'm going to explain to you guys what a soul tie is. I'm going to break down some symptoms of soul ties. I'm going to allude to and talk about how it affects men. And I'm going to give the brothers some solutions, some ways that they can break that soul tie. All right, fellas. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. So what is a soul tie? You know, I'm not going to assume that anyone on this live tonight knows what a soul tie is. I'm sure some of you do, but for those who don't, I'm going to break it down for you. A soul tie is a deep spiritual connection that some people feel toward one another, and it makes them feel complete and as one with another human being. Soul ties can be so deep that One feels as though they cannot live without the other person. When they have found the person they share this tie with, they feel an intense connection. They think about this person all the time, and it's hard for them to separate themselves from the person. They don't want to separate themselves from this individual. It's an emotional bond that unites you with someone else. There are strong attachments, strong connections, strong bonds, which are formed through getting to know someone, be it in a physical relationship, a social relationship, or an emotional relationship, or any combination of the three. And the concept of soul ties, it has biblical origins. Soul ties in the Bible can probably best be described when you talk about knit, when you talk about cleaving, when you talk about a man leaving his mother and father and cleaving to a woman, cleaving to his wife, which is another way of just saying bringing closer together, forming a close bond, being attached to someone, or adhering to someone like glue, like glue would adhere to, whatever is put on. Soul ties they're often formed through sexual relationships. Consummation. When you look from a religious or a spiritual context, and you look at the word consummation, when you become married, and you consummate that marriage, or you complete that marriage, or you make that marriage official legally in the eyes of your religious higher power or your deity, you consummate that marriage by having sexual relations with your spouse, with your husband or your wife. So in a biblical sense, every time someone has sex, every time an unmarried person or anyone engages in sexual acts, they become married to that person. They become connected or bonded, or they become one with that person. So soul ties are basically, it's a pseudo concept. It has it's like a pseudo science. You won't really find legal doctors, legal psychologists who will base the definition or base this concept or understanding off of any type of physical proof. But soul ties are basically relate to the metaphysical aspects of life. When I say metaphysical, I mean the things that are real, that are deemed real, but you can't see them. They cannot be measured under a microscope. Soul ties are really a metaphysical thing. So when you get into a relationship with someone, when you become intimate with someone, you are exchanging energy. You are exchanging bodily fluids. You are exchanging emotions, feelings, all of these things. So there is a give aspect and there's a take aspect of the relationship, and you become tied together. Your bodies become linked. Your body goes through so many physical changes in order to prepare for a sexual act. Some parts of your body become stiff. It enlarges. It opens up. It tightens. It enhances itself in order to prepare for you to be entered, or for you to enter in someone else. And so when you do that, you're exchanging things. You're exchanging emotions. You're exchanging feelings, as well as physical pleasure. And dopamine is released in your body, and all these different things. So these things can cause a soul tie. They can cause a soul tie where you're connected with someone, on a physical level and on a metaphysical level. When you look into it deeply, when you look further into it in a more metaphysical way, like I alluded to before, you can decide that for yourself whether or not the concept is real. But if you're a type of person that believes in the soul and the spirit, if you believe in energy, if you believe in bad vibes, things like that, then you already have some type of concept or understanding of what a soul tie is, and it shouldn't be something that's deemed far-fetched for you. So soul ties aren't necessarily always a bad thing. Soul ties can be a great thing. Like I alluded to before, when you're in a healthy relationship, when you're in a marriage that's centered on love and respect and the balance between the masculine and the feminine principle, a soul tie is going to obviously be developed in that relationship. And it's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing when the feelings that you have for a woman are reciprocated. You know what I mean? It's a beautiful thing for a woman to um, give love and affection and respect to a man, and that's reciprocated by him to her, where he's giving her love and he's giving her protection and provision and things like that. So I don't want people to automatically think that soul ties are something that's always bad. It is not. They are very healthy soul ties, um, especially within the confines and the context of a healthy and fruitful and prosperous marriage where both parties love each other, they respect one another, they take each other's feelings and emotions into account. All of these things are beautiful, and they help to make a healthy and vibrant soul tie. Sasha, I see you. What's going on? Thank you for pulling up. Um, so soul ties aren't always a bad thing. You know what I mean? Sometimes they're very good. You know what I mean? I think that when you're in a healthy marriage, I would honestly sit here and tell you now that being married for 14 years, I have a soul tie with my wife. You know what I mean? I feel connected to her on various levels, physically, spiritually, emotionally, metaphysically. I'm connected to her. You know what I mean? And that's only right, being married 14 years and having 2 kids and have, traveled the world together and done a lot of things together and bought houses together and things like that. Um, you know, that's a healthy tie. What I live, what I live every day is an example of a healthy soul tie. So it's not always bad. I don't want people to think that it's not always a bad thing, but there are aspects of soul ties that can be very negative. Um, you know, like I said before, a soul tie can bring tremendous amounts of love and blessings and fortune into your life when it's done the right way, when the relationship is healthy. But if it's not healthy, if it's not, then that soul tie can bring tremendous amounts of pain, dysfunction, and destruction into your life when you've made that soul tie with the wrong person. And a lot of times we tend to do that. A lot of us, let's just keep it real. Most of us are not virgins. You know what I mean? Most of us who are married were not virgins when we met our spouses. So we've had sex before. We've been around the block at least once, maybe twice. You know what I mean? And when you do these things, when you have sex with people, you create a soul tie with that person. I'm just here to tell you that. To me personally, looking back over my life and understanding some of the things that I've been in and the places I've been and the people that I've been around that who have spoken to me about certain things, there's really no such thing as casual sex. Let's just be real. Like, there's no such thing as casual sex. I know people will say that. People will say that they can have sex with someone and it doesn't matter. They're just there for the physical pleasure, for that release, that orgasmic release or that release of dopamine in their body, transmitted from their brain. They believe that. A lot of people believe that they can facts, Chris, maybe thrice, man, maybe 4 or 5 times, you dig? But yeah, man. A lot of people think that you can casually have sex and it's not going to affect you. And I'm here to tell you that that's not true, not in my personal opinion. You know what I mean? When you have sex with someone, you are tied to that individual. You know what I mean? Now, there are different levels of soul ties. There are different levels of it. Some people you can sleep with or you've had sex with and they got up the next morning, they left and you didn't care. You know what I mean? Even though you are tied or you were tied physically and are tied metaphysically to that person, like I said, there are different levels to it. So there are some people where, you have a real vicious tie where you can't let go. You know what I mean? We're going to get to some of the signs and symptoms of those more serious ties. But on a base level, you pretty much tied to or have been tied to in some way, shape, form, or fashion to pretty much everyone that you slept with. I see you, D. You know what I mean? Shout out to D, man. Free D. You know what I mean? I know I need to be free too, man. I'm in Facebook jail right now. You know, my bid is going to end tonight. I'll be back at y'all tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But I got put on, you know, I got put on a 3-day bid. So I'm doing that well. And my man C Boog is in the building. Salute to my man C Boog. You know what I mean? Just got off a good fruitful call with him, man. You know, we're gonna rock and roll for y'all this improvement summit Saturday, man. I can't wait for that. But yeah, man, you know, soul ties are real, and pretty much everybody that, you know what I mean, you've had sex with, you have been tied to in one way, shape, form, or fashion. Like I said, there are different levels to ties, like there are different levels to everything in life. You know what I mean? But tonight we're going to focus on those more serious ties and what they look like and what they look like for men, because that's what the sister wanted me to break down. So we're going to talk about it. So, so when you have a soul tie to the wrong person, you know what I mean? When your soul is tied to the wrong person and you're struggling and you're trying to find your way as a man, you know, to navigate yourself through that, to find your way, you know what I mean? Some of the symptoms are you dreaming about that person, or you waking up at night, you know what I mean, thinking about someone. You know what I mean? That's crazy. You have these dreams, man, and they're very lucid and they're very detailed. You know what I mean? In my personal life, I know someone who's close to me very personally, and she went through an experience where she was with a guy who was what I would call, you know, his soul was tied to another person, to another woman. And she told me that what happened in a relationship. She told me about one situation where she was laying in the bed with her dude, you know, with her guy, and he was talking in his sleep. You know what I mean? He was tossing and turning in bed. He was talking in his sleep. And then she kind of reached over to nudge him or to kind of hold him to, you know, let him know that she was there, to try to give him that love and affection. And she said that he called her by another woman's name. You know what I mean? Like he was in his sleep and he was talking like for example, let's say his lady's name was Kim, right? So he's in the bed with Kim and he's tossing and turning and he's talking in his sleep or whatever. And Kim reaches over to kind of hug him, to kind of hold him, you know what I mean, to kind of comfort him. And in his sleep, he's like, you know, Tanya, stop playing. Like, you know, Tanya, you know, I got to get up in the morning and get ready to go to work. You know what I mean? So yeah, so it's real, man. You know, when your soul is tied to someone, you can dream about them. You know what I mean? You can have very lucid dreams where this person's energy, their aura, you know, their spirit is communicating with you, or you are trying your best to communicate with them because your soul is tied to them. You know what I mean? And you haven't been able to let them go. I see you, Jacqueline. Good evening. Thank you for pulling up. So that's one symptom of a soul tie right there. It's just you thinking about them nonstop, so much so that you're dreaming about this person. You think or see someone in your mind when you're intimate with your partner. So let's say you've moved on physically, but emotionally, psychologically, and on a metaphysical level, you have not moved on. You're still tied to that ex, your ex-wife, your baby mom, some girl used to hit back in the day, a year ago, 2 years ago. You are still tied to this person. So you can have sex with your partner, your new female, your new chick, and call your new chick by your old girl's name. You know what I mean? Because you're in a position sexually where, you're loose, you up in that thing, you know what I mean? Your mind is kind of relaxed and you might slip up and call your new girl your old girl's name because you're still metaphysically, spiritually, and emotionally tied to your ex. You know what I mean? So that's another symptom. So if y'all brothers doing that, man, straight up and down, if y'all dreaming about the chick, you know what I mean, and you with your new chick and you digging her out and you calling her by your old woman's name, man, you know what I mean? That's a serious symptom of soul ties right there. You might be tied to your ex or a female you used to deal with back in the day. If you hear that voice in your head talking to you, man, you're going through things and you're trying to contemplate ideas and things like that, and you hear this person's voice in your head talking to you, you know what I mean? That's a symptom of having a soul tie. You know what I mean? Just it's crazy, but but it's real. You know what I mean? Facts. So here's a big one too for men and women. Another sign and symptom of having a soul tie is that you are unable to walk out of an emotionally and physically abusive relationship because you feel so attached to this person. That is a huge telltale sign that you are entangled, as our sister Jada Pinkett Smith would say, into a soul tie. You know what I mean? You can't stop thinking about this person. You know what I mean? You can't move on. You know what I mean? You know that emotionally and physically you should not be in this relationship. You should not be with this person. There's nothing positive when you think about it. When you write down on a piece of paper the good and the bad and the ugly of this person and this relationship, the bad and the ugly completely obliterates and outweighs the good. So everything about this relationship is wrong, and you still won't leave because you're attached to them. That is a huge sign that you are connected, that your soul is connected to this person, that this person has the keys to your soul, that your soul is tied to this person. When you can't leave, when you don't want to leave, when everybody's telling you, Frank, you need to leave, man. You know what I mean? Chris, Boog, you need to leave. Like, this chick don't mean no good by you at all. She's not doing nothing you like. She's not cooking. She's not cleaning. She's not keeping herself up. She's not doing everything that you think a woman is supposed to do for a man. And all of your homies see it. Everybody around you sees it. Ray Charles could see it. Ray Charles with a blindfold on could see that this chick ain't the one. But for some reason, you feel so attached to her, you can't let her go. You know what I mean? A lot of that is really based in simp energy. You know what I mean? A lot of simp brothers do that. A lot of brothers who are not confident in themselves will stay in a relationship that is unhealthy because they're attached to that woman. You know what I mean? I've seen it. I've been there. I've been on both sides of the fence on that. I've told brothers myself, yo, she ain't it, man. Like, what are you doing? Like, you could do better out here. You know what I mean? Like, why are you in a relationship with this woman? She doesn't do right by you at all. Like, what are you doing? And no matter what I told that brother, he would cling to this woman harder. He would go after her harder. He would allow his soul to be tied to her harder than it was before. You know what I mean? And just to be honest and transparent with y'all, I've been there too. I've been on the other side. When I was in the Army, I told y'all about that story. When I first went into the Army, I was in a relationship where everybody around me knew that this chick wasn't right for me. I'm not going to disrespect her and say anything bad about her, but she just wasn't the right person for me. And everybody saw that but me. You know what I mean? And so people told me, people saw her at certain places. I'm doing things that wasn't, cool, that was unbecoming of a young lady. 11, 12 Queen, I see you. People would tell me, my mother, my brother, my homies on the, in the set, everybody would tell me, yo, she ain't it, man. Like, Frank, you too good. Like, your drip is too official for you to be with a female like this. What are you doing? But no matter what they said to me, I thought they were hating. I thought they, were jealous of our love or something. Like, I told y'all, man, I wasn't always Dom game. I wasn't always a soldier in the Dom game army, man. I wasn't always there, but yeah, that's a symptom of a soul tie, man. Knowing that situation is bad, everybody can see it. You can see it. You can feel it, but you just can't let go because you are emotionally, spiritually, and sexually attached to that person. You are attached to that woman. You think about this person, or you think about that woman obsessively, even though y'all have already parted, even though y'all have already broke up. A lot of dudes do that. For all the ladies listening to this, I guarantee you that you probably have a guy, that you used to date that, probably has a soul tie to you. And unbeknownst to you, this brother is thinking about you, obsessively, even though y'all have already broken up, even though you're not having sex with him anymore, even though y'all don't call or text each other anymore, even though y'all don't go out to eat, even though you're not in a relationship anymore. This person is still obsessed with you. This person they think about you constantly, consistently. You know what I mean? You broke up with the guy and, you said, okay, we're not together anymore. So I'm going to take his pictures down on my page. I'm going to take our pictures down and I'm going to unfriend him. You know what I mean? Maybe you that type of person. that type of woman that says, okay, when the relationship is over, I don't really do the friends, we cool thing after the relationship. I kind of, I'm gonna unfriend you, no disrespect. Like, I'm not mad at you or nothing, but I gotta move on with my life. There are a lot of women out here and men who do that. There are a lot of women who do that. So there are a lot of guys who may be connected to you, who have a soul tie with you, who, even though you unfriended them, even though you put them down slow and in a respectful, feminine way, they're still obsessed with you. They still look at your page. They still search your name and look at your Facebook page to see what you're doing, how your hair looks, what outfits you're wearing. If you're in a new relationship, if you got pictures of a new dude on your page, you know what I mean? Sometimes they'll get so much, they'll get so deep into it where they'll create a troll page. You know what I mean? They'll create a troll page just so that you can add them, you know what I mean? So that they can have access to you. Because on Facebook, man, you have a lot of people that you really don't know who they are. I mean, their profile picture is an avatar. They have they're not using their real name. You know what I mean? All of their pictures are memes, that they took from somebody else on Facebook, or comments about whatever's going on, like the election tonight or whatever. They don't really have any personal pictures or any type of personal information on their page. A lot of cats like that are trolling, and they create these troll pages in hopes of getting access to you, because a lot of people don't really scan their social media pages like that. A lot of us, especially like content creators, we come from a cloth or from a mindset that you say, yo, somebody add me or want to add me, I'm gonna let them on. It could be a potential, if you own your own business, that person could be a potential customer. If you have your own YouTube channel or your own podcast or blog or something like that, that person could be a potential subscriber. So you may let a lot of people on your page that you don't know. You have no idea who they are. They have no picture, no identifiable information, anything like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so be mindful of that, man. People will try to get at you. Like I said, through your social media, you guys may have mutual friends and things like that. So this person, they're obsessed. They have to know what you're doing, where you're at. They think about you all the time, even though the relationship has been over 6 months. You know what I mean? A year, 2 years, whatever. They still think about you. They still, they never got rid of your pictures. You know what I'm saying? They never got rid of the clothes that you left over his apartment. He never got rid of them. He still has them in a shoebox somewhere. He has all your stuff. And you know what I mean? And he thinks about you all the time. So if brothers out here, if you're doing that, man, if you think about that young lady obsessively, even after y'all have broken up, even after the relationship has been over with for months, years, weeks, whatever, you know what I mean? It's a good chance you probably have a soul tie to that woman. You think about them all the time, even if you don't want to be with them. Even if you don't want to be with them, you waste valuable time thinking about this person. You know what I mean? What they're doing, where they're at, all of that stuff. So sometimes you can have these soul ties, like I alluded to earlier, where you're still trying to get access to them on social media and things like that, in hopes of getting back with them, because you still miss them, you still love them, you still want to be with them. But sometimes it could be a situation where you don't want the person. Like, you don't want to get back with them. You're not trying to plead your case or put or rescind your bid or whatever, but you just want to see how they're doing. Their name is constantly in your mouth. Even though you don't want them, you're on their social media pages. You're talking to mutual friends, asking them how so and so is doing. When the last time you seen so and so? You know what I mean? It's a real thing, man. It is, man. Like straight up and down, man. I can't really say it any other way, but soul ties, man, are a very real thing. There are a lot of brothers out here who are tied to other women. You know what I mean? A lot of these brothers, a lot of times, when you see brothers act in a disrespectful fashion, when they throw all women in a box, preferably black women, a lot of times it's because, and we all know this for the most part, but if you don't, a lot of times, man, these brothers got hurt. You know what I mean? They got hurt by a female, or they have a soul tie to a female, and that female is not responding to them in a way that they want. And the best way that they've come up with to deal with it is to be overly aggressive. You know what I mean? It's to be disrespectful. It's to talk about these women create whole YouTube channels, have 100 videos, and 90% of them are bashing black women, all of that. You know what I mean? Because these men have soul ties, man. They are physically, emotionally attached to a woman, and that woman won't give them the time of day, or she's already moved on. You know what I mean? So be mindful of that, man. Be careful, because there are a lot of brothers out here who will come before y'all and who front like they don't have any emotions, that they don't have any feelings at all, that they've never taken an L in a relationship. And that's just simply not true. Let me tell y'all this, ladies. There's not one emotion that you go through. There's not any emotion that you have had that a man has not had or doesn't have the capability to feel. We both get hurt. We both feel vulnerable. The only difference between the masculine and the feminine principle is how we deal with that hurt, how we deal with that pain, how we deal with that emotion. And that goes all the way back to our ancient Kemetic mystery school systems that talk about ma'at and talk about balance. We all go through the same things together as men and women, but we go through them in a separate way. And those separate ways create balance. So my wife is an emotional being. She's an emotional. I have emotions too, but we display them in different ways. And she displays hers in a feminine way. I display mine in a masculine way, and we balance each other out. It brings a certain level of balance. You know what I mean? So there isn't anything to. I want that sister to understand this. Yes, men do obviously have experience soul ties, but there isn't anything that a woman experiences emotionally that men don't. We just are designed and formed and fashioned to deal with them in a different way than women, and to do so in a way where we balance each other out. So we have that emotion, but we use more logic because that balances out your emotion, because you use more emotion naturally than a man does. You use more emotion than logic. So we balance each other out. It's the yin and the yang. It's the ma'at. It's that balance. So that's very important. But there are a lot of brothers out here who will come before y'all, who will front like they've never taken an L before. You know what I mean? They'll get up here, they'll talk about how they bag women, how they have women in pocket, how they have all these things going on for them, and they're lying straight up and down. Some of these cats have been looked into. People have looked into them, ran their rap sheets. These cats got domestic violence charges, you know what I'm saying? Where they hitting chicks, they yoking up females, they're combing these girls' heads back and all that. And then they coming before y'all on the low, on a channel on social media, talking about how they're masculine, how they're doing their thing, and you know what I mean, and how they have all these women in pocket, and you can be just like them. You know what I'm saying? So be mindful of that, man. A lot of these cats is, they're catchphrase chameleons, man. They're in camouflage, straight up. So, another sign of you having a soul tie to a woman is, you feel like you badly need them. You know what I mean? Even if they aren't good for you. We talked about that. Knowing you're not supposed to be there. A lot of brothers, man, look, let me tell you like this. A lot of times in relationships, when y'all hit me up, or you hit Chris up, or you hit, my man Gabe up, Ultimate Black Man Radio, you hit up C-Bug, you hit up Rom, you hit up Cousin T-Raw, you hit up all these cats, and y'all asking them questions. Dude, I'm talking about dudes now. And y'all asking us all these questions about relationships. What should I do, man? Shorty did this. What should I do? How should I respond? 95% of the time, you already know what you're supposed to do. You already know that this person is not good for you. When y'all come to me a lot of times with these questions, you know what I mean? I'm going to always be respectful, and I'm going to always, with your permission, of course, I'm going to always tailor it and fashion it into creating content for people, because other people are going through the same things that you're going through too. You know what I mean? You're not going through it by yourself. So, but 95% of the time, you already know what you're supposed to do. You already know you're supposed to leave. The chick done cheated on you. She done called you out your name. She done threw a dish at you. You know what I mean? She's just reckless all the way around. And then you hit us up and you like, yo, what should I do, man? I don't know, man. You know what I mean? You do know. The fact of the matter is, the main question, the main issue that you have is what you're really saying is, Frank, I know I should leave, but I can't because I'm tied to her. I'm tied to her womb. I'm tied to her soul. You know what I mean? She has my soul. She has my energy. You know what I mean? Energy never goes away. Energy is only transfer. It only transfers itself. So I've transferred my energy to her, and I don't want to leave that, even though I know I should. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. So another trait of you having a soul tie with someone is you take on their negative traits, man. You take on the traits of that person that your soul is tied to, and you carry their offenses and their issues, whether or not you actually agree with them or not. This is heavy. I've noticed in my life that a lot of times, man, you know, you get into a relationship with somebody and they give you that sad story, right? About how their ex cheated on them, or, you know, had a baby on them by their friend or whatever, just really dogged them out. And so a brother listens to that, you know what I mean? And if he's in his simp energy, or if he's really into this girl, he'll say, you know what? I'm gonna show her something different. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want her thinking that all cats is like this. So I heard how this dude dogged her out. You know what I mean? Even though, I mean, honestly, I don't really care. It wasn't me, but I'm a different breed. So I'm not even built to treat her like that. But you get with the female and she treats you she treats you the same way that her ex treated her. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge sign of a soul tie right there. You know what I mean? When you turn around and you treat somebody, you treat you treat that new female the same way the old female treated you. So your ex cheated on you. You know what I mean? She called you out your name. You know what I mean? She wasn't cooking. She wasn't cleaning. She wasn't fulfilling her duties and her obligations to you within the four corners of a healthy relationship. She wasn't doing none of that. So you get with the new female and you do everything to her that your ex did to you. You know what I mean? Even though even though before you got with the new female, these negative traits were foreign to you. You didn't move like that. You weren't a liar. You weren't a cheater. You weren't somebody who was verbally abusive or verbally disrespectful, excuse me. But then you get with the new person and you treat them exactly the same way that your ex treated you. That happens a lot. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women who are dealing with you don't understand that, but because they've heard the stories. They've heard how you told them how old girl, you know, did you wrong and took your money and cheated on you and lied to you and put you in uncompromising positions. You know what I mean? Uncomfortable positions. You told her all these stories. So in her mind, she's like, yo, like, I really like this cat. You know what I mean? And I would never do that to him. You know what I mean? I would never do what his ex did. I would never cheat on him. I would never, you know, take his money and give it to another dude or something like that. You know what I mean? So in her mind, she's like, yo, I'm gonna do all these things to show him, you know, that I'm different. And she actually does it. She actually shows you something different. She's into you, she likes you, whatever, but you treat her the same way your ex treated you. Why? Because your soul is still tied to your ex. Y'all are still you're still transferring energy with your ex. Y'all are still tied. You know what I mean? Sometimes it could be so deep, like you simultaneously experience stuff together, moods. You know what I mean? Being sick, being in an accident, something like that. Let me tell you like this, fellas. If you get upset when somebody brings up your ex, you have a soul tie. Your soul is tied to your ex. If you can't be in a room with your ex without feeling uncomfortable, without being mad, without getting a knot in your stomach, without just you completely being uncomfortable and off your square, if you can't do that, your soul is still tied to that woman. You know what I mean? Your soul is still tied to her. Soul ties are, okay, I see you. That's wifey right there. How do you break the soul tie? I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that in a few minutes. But it's coming. It's coming. like I said, men have soul ties too. Soul ties are more so, um, connected with women, because women are more in tune to their emotions, like we know. But men get them too. And the fact of the matter is, women fall sooner than men, but men fall harder than women. Let me break that down. Women fall head over heels sooner than a man does. But a man, when he does fall head over heels into love, into a tie with the woman, he falls deeper. It's harder for him. It's heavier for him. It's deeper for him. You know what I mean? Women sometimes can fall in love with a guy that they don't even know. They just like him. Like, he has on a nice suit. He smells good. You know what I mean? His lineup is tight. He has waves everywhere. He's in great shape. You know what I mean? Like my man Chris. You know what I mean? He's chiseled up. He's got hella gains. You know what I mean? And she can just fall in love with that aspect of him without even really knowing who he is. You know what I mean? And men do it too. Don't get me wrong, but women do that more so than men. So it takes a little bit more time for men to fall on average. But when men fall hard. The saddest thing I've ever seen in my life is seeing a man with his heart broke. It's the saddest, worst looking. I mean, it's sadder than the saddest movie you've ever seen. You know what I mean? When a grown man, a 6'2", 240-pound man with gains all over his body, muscles everywhere, when he falls in love and he gets his heart broke, it is the saddest thing in the world. You know what I mean? And that man goes through all kind of emotions. Look, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Men hurt, men cry. I know y'all ladies might not know this because we get in front of y'all and we put on a performance. We have to be masculine. We have to be tough. You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of brothers out here who cry in the dark. You know what I mean? Who cry in the car, who cry in the shower. You know what I mean? But, they go through all of these emotions and they hurt, but they don't have the outlet. Like my sister, Nicole Michelle, she has multiple groups on YouTube. She has a healing group for women. She has a Future Wives Club for women. You know what I mean? She has the Feminine Elite. But I'm mainly focusing right now on the healing group. A lot of brothers don't have a healing group. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a space. We're not designed to get around other brothers and just tell the truth, man. Yo, that girl hurt me, man. She broke my heart. You know what I mean? I thought she was the one. You know what I mean? I broke every rule to be with her. You know what I'm saying? Everything I stood on, you know what I mean? Everything the block taught me, I let it go for her because she was that fine. She was that smart. She was that feminine. I thought we were that deep. And I gave it all up, you know what I'm saying, to be with this woman, and she broke my heart, and I don't know how to cope. Brothers, I'm telling you, man, like it's very hard for brothers to heal. It's very hard for brothers to heal. That's why a lot of these brothers are upset. That's why a lot of these brothers are mad all the time, because they're really going through something and they don't really have an outlet to heal, or they think that they don't have an outlet to heal. And even though they come before y'all and they talk all this garbage about black women and y'all are this, y'all are that, whatever. Men want feminine energy. I don't care how MGTOW they are. I don't care how red pill they are. A man wants feminine energy around him. Period. I saw a dude on Facebook the other day. You know what I mean? Before I got put in Facebook jail, I saw a dude on Facebook who he said he came out. He had a picture with him and his doll. He bought a doll and was like, yo, I'm tired of these women. I'm coming out. I'm in love. I got my doll and we chilling. He took a picture with his doll laid up in the bed like that was a real woman. You know what I mean? This man is busting real sauce in a doll with confidently. You know what I'm saying? Like you know what I mean? But even with all of that hatred for women, he still craves feminine energy, even if he has to buy it, even if he has to build it out of plastic. He still craves the feminine energy around him. Even these MGTOW dudes who talk about, I'm just gonna go to Brazil or whatever, to these third world countries and pass out bags of rice and get sex from these, dime women in these third world countries. They still want the feminine energy around them. They just don't know how to get it, or they've given up on getting it in an authentic way. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. But so how do you get rid of a soul tie? How do you break it? You know what I mean? Facts. It is a corpse. You know what I mean? It is a corpse. But I saw it on Facebook where this cat, somebody, saw it in one of those red pill groups or something like that. And they copied it and they put it on their Facebook page and they said, look, like, it's cats out here who are literally, you know what I mean, having sexual relationships with dolls, and now they're actually bringing it to the forefront. Like cats is literally taking pictures with the doll like it's a real woman and putting it on Facebook for everybody to see. You know what I'm saying? This man is, like, that's horrible, but it's a cry for help. What it really is he's saying, look, man, I want feminine energy around, and I don't know how to get it. I hear what Boog is saying. I hear what Chris is saying. I hear what Frank is saying. I hear what Gabe is saying. I hear what all these people are saying, but it's not working for me. Chris did an excellent video earlier. He posted it about how, these brothers are not supposed to be watching, self-help, self-improvement videos all day. You know what I mean? That we give you these gems and these jewels as a guide, but you have to get up and you have to get out here and learn for yourself. Everything that you need is within yourself. You know what I mean? Everything that you need. There are certain people in your life who will bring it out of you. You could find a content creator, you could find a book, you could find a friend or somebody who can give you some game and can help you get over that hump. But you have to do the work yourself. Life is designed to be lived. You know what I mean? Life is designed to be lived. So you can't rely on people, giving you, you can't watch me for an hour and a half, then watch Boog for 2 hours, then watch Chris do his thing for 2 hours, then read a whole book and think you're going to have this thing figured out. You're not. The only way to figure it out is to live. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fall short. What's not okay is for you to keep making the same mistakes and for you to keep putting yourself in the same position over and over and over, expecting a different result. That's not okay. Peace, what's going on? Let me read this and see what's popping with it. Peace says, View from the Man Cave. If men love harder, would you say that the men that end up leaving their families or wives, that they didn't really love them to begin with, and they never loved hard enough? That's a great question. It really depends on the situation. But I will say this: if you really love somebody, there's nobody that can take you away from them. You know what I mean? I tell my wife this story all the time. And me and some of my homies, like we went up to Baltimore. Shout out to Baltimore. I live in PG County, Maryland, Southern Maryland. So I'm about 45 minutes away from Baltimore, and I have family up there. Shout out to them. Shout out to Perkins Houses. I love y'all, man. And so I went up there with a few homies to Baltimore. So we were hanging around Baltimore and we were just club hopping. So we were going to strip clubs, like hopping in and out of strip clubs all night, just, getting some drinks, having fun, whatever. And this was like a few months ago, or it was less than a year ago. And so we at the strip clubs and we just having fun, and the girls are dancing, and they sit on your lap and they come over, and they talk to you and all of that. And so it was like, I'm sitting there, and these women, like, I'm a man, I have eyes. These women are beautiful women. You know what I mean? They're very attractive. They were very curvy, shapely, all of that. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh yeah, it was before COVID. Right. But I think it was less than a year ago because I remember it. I think it was less than a year ago, but it was before COVID happened. So we up there in Baltimore, we in the strip club, and these women are running around, they're beautiful, they're dancing, all of that. And I'm sitting here thinking the whole time, like, yo, I wonder what Rasha doing. Like, I wonder if she left the food in the oven for me. You know what I mean? I wonder what show she watching. Like, this is dead, and I'm dead serious. Like, I'm not even, they're chicks, Instagram model chicks, porn star model chicks running around naked, half naked. And it didn't matter to me because I was so fixated on my family, like on my wife. It didn't matter. And even if it did matter, even if it did, get me excited or motivated, it only would have made me excited and motivated, to go home and beat that thing up. You know what I mean? And get to that pleasure principle at home. You know what I mean? That's all it would have done. Straight up. And so when you're in love, when it's real, when a guy does fall hard, it's not really a situation where somebody can pull him away from what he loves. They just can't. There are a lot of brothers out here, who have sexual discipline, who can honestly look in the mirror and say, yo, like, I'm physically attracted to that woman. She's beautiful. And in another world, another lifetime, maybe it could have been something different. But for right now, in this lifetime, in this existence, you know what I'm saying? I'm going home to my wife. I got a good one at home who loves me, who's waiting up for me. You know what I mean? Who will be a stripper for me if I wanted to be. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go home to that. But to answer your question, yeah, it could be that. It could be a situation where, this person never really loved, the family like that, or it faded over time. You know what I mean? Because when you get into relationships, when you get into marriages, you change. You know what I mean? I'm not the same person I am today. I'm not the same person I was 14 years ago. I don't look the same. I don't think the same. I mean, my core principles as a man will never change. But the older you get, the more you evolve and you become different. And sometimes, unfortunately, people don't grow. Everybody that you love doesn't grow with you. And sometimes you can leave some people behind, including the person or the woman that you share your bed with. It happens all the time. I mean, divorce is a real thing. So it could be a situation where things changed over time and he moved on. It could be a situation where he never really loved her like that. Like, she was comfortable. You know what I mean? A lot of guys, unfortunately, marry their second, third, or fourth choice. And they do it out of comfort. They do it because, oh, she has a good job. Or, oh, she's a really good cook. Or, oh, it's not her temperament to cheat. So they do it out of convenience. They do it out of comfort. They don't really do it out of love. So then they meet somebody at work or you know what I mean, at the coffee shop near their job or at the gym, where they go work out at. And they form a very, serious sexual, emotional relationship with that person. And they actually love that person. It's not comfort at all. You know what I mean? It's more of a karmic relationship where it's intense, it's passionate, it's a flame, it's a fling. You know what I'm saying? So it really depends on the individual. It depends on, how he came into that relationship, what he wanted from that relationship, what his mentality was when he went into that relationship. And that's a deciding and a determining factor as to why he will stay or why he will leave. A lot of times the way you come in has a huge effect on how you leave, how you walk out. You know what I mean? So if you come in for the wrong reasons, you know what I mean, you're going to leave for the wrong reasons. So I hope I was able to answer your question. So how do you leave? How do you break a soul tie? I'm not going to be before y'all long. I know y'all might be up watching the election. You know what I mean? I'm watching a few things too myself. But how do you break a soul tie, fellas? Here's how you do it, man. The first thing you got to do is forgive yourself. Men, fellas, for all you guys out there who are struggling, who are upset because a girl played you, you know what I mean? Because a girl, she took your money. She took your heart. She broke your heart. All you fellas out there who don't know how to deal with that. And you're struggling. You in these red pill groups, you in these MGTOW groups, you bashing women all day, you know what I mean? All this kind of stuff. The first thing you need to do to break this tie to this woman is forgive yourself. You made a mistake. You know what I mean? The relationship didn't work, and you want more out of it than she's willing to give you. And you don't know how to deal with that. You know what I mean? Because you feel like if you do a little bit more, if you show her a little bit more, maybe she'll take you back. You know, maybe she'll let you come back home. And you got to forgive yourself for making that mistake. You know what I mean? Of putting too much privilege on the woman. You know what I mean? It happens, man. I'm here to tell you, you know, homie to homie, it happens. I don't care how attractive the dude is. I don't care how much money you have. You know, I don't care how much swagger you have. There's a woman out here on this earth who has more swagger than you. There's a woman out here, you know, one of my favorite movies is Boomerang. If you have not seen it, Boomerang is a great movie. And in that movie, it really alludes to Eddie Murphy's character having a soul tie to Robin Givens' character. He did things for that woman he never did for any other women in the movie. And those women were gorgeous. Lela Rochon was gorgeous. I mean, she had some jacked up feet, but you won't hit her feet, like Martin Lawrence said. But he was doing things for Robin he didn't do for any of those women. This man staying up all hours of the night, you know, buying her flowers, buying movie tickets, you know what I mean, concerned about her well-being, you know, all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? I don't care how, and in that movie, Eddie Murphy's character, Marcus Graham, he was successful. He was handsome. He had fly gear. He had women all over him. He could have had his choice of women. But the one woman that he wanted the most didn't want him. You know what I mean? So it happens. It's not because you ugly. It's not because, you know, you're on the bigger side of things. Now, brothers, I'm gonna tell you like this. I mean, it wouldn't help you to it wouldn't help any of us or all of us to get into better shape. You understand what I'm saying? But a lot of times it's not you, man. It's just at the end of the day, that woman wasn't for you. You know what I mean? She wasn't the one. And you can't make her the one because your soul is tied to her. So you got to forgive yourself. You got to forgive yourself, man. And you got to forgive her too. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, you know, when guys have, you know, if you have a soul tie with a female, you know, you don't really break up with her. So the issue in the relationship becomes you have a strong soul tie to this woman and she walks away from you. She breaks up with you. She cheats on you, whatever. She hurts you. You know what I mean? And so all of that, checking on her, looking at her social media pages, you know what I mean? Trying to one up her, you know, trying to, you know, rush into relationships and all of this kind of stuff. You're trying to compete with this woman and make this woman feel bad. She don't care nothing about you. At the end of the day, you got to forgive her too. You know what I mean? Could she have walked out of the relationship a little better? You know, did she have to cheat? No, she didn't. She could have just told you, hey, you ain't the one. I'm not happy. I'm not really being fulfilled. My needs aren't getting met and I need to move on. I think it's time for us to go our separate ways. She could have did that. It still would have hurt you because you love her. You know what I mean? You have a soul tie to her. But regardless of what she did or how messed up it was, you have to forgive her and let it go. You know what I mean? That's like the first step. So Peace has another one. They say a famous dating coach once said it takes men usually 2 to 5 years to truly fall in love with the woman. Does it then take that long to fall out of love? It can. It really can. A lot of women right now who are going to listen to this live are in relationships with men who have soul ties to another woman. A lot of women don't understand how they say, well, yo, he, you know, I do everything for him and he still treats me, you know, he still treats me bad. Or every time his ex comes up, he gets upset. And there's really nothing I can do. I can't make love to him a certain way. I can't make his favorite meal. I can't do anything to help him to take his mind off this woman. There are a lot of women right now who are in relationships with men who have soul ties to another woman. And that's why you have all these questions for me. Why he treat me like this? Why he still talk to her? Why, you know, he went to the bathroom or he took a shower and his phone rang and it was her? Or why, you know, did I, you know, act up and be foul and go through his phone and see that he's still texting that woman? It's because he has a soul tie to her. That woman did something to him where she snatched that man's soul from him. Whether it was sexually, emotionally, physically, maybe she came to him at a point in his life where he was really down and he kind of got his swagger back a little bit. He got his weight up a little bit. And he kind of has this strong tie to her because she was there with him at his lowest point and she helped him come up out of that. And even though they broke up and moved on, he's still attached to her, whatever it is. But a lot of times that's the answer to these ladies' questions that y'all have. Y'all get on these, y'all get on these podcasts and y'all ask us all these type of questions. A lot of the answers is that his soul is tied to another woman and he can't have that woman. So he's using you as a rebound. He's using you to get his Ben Wallace on, to get his Charles Barkley on. He's using you to get his drip back, his swagger back. He's not going to tell you that. You know what I mean? He's not going to tell you that. He ain't going to say, yo, look, baby, check this out. I was with a girl for a couple years. I fell in love with her heavy. You know what I mean? She took me places emotionally, spiritually, physically, sexually that I never been. I'm tied to her. And we're not together right now. She dumped me because I wasn't really, she outgrew me or whatever. She moved on. And so I just need to get my swagger back. You know what I mean? I just need to dump in something. You know what I mean? I need the warmth of a woman right now. You know what I mean? I need feminine energy around me. He ain't going to tell you that. He going to say, yeah, baby, you know what I mean? It's just you and me. You know what I mean? You know, I love you. I have feelings for you. It's just, he's going to tell you that. He's going to tell you that verbally, but on an emotional level, on a metaphysical level, he's telling you something else. You know what I mean? He's going to show you something else. It can't be baby mamas, but because I'm gonna get into that too, because a lot of times you may have a soul tie to somebody that you can't escape. Like your soul tie could be your baby mom. And you can't really escape her. You got to deal with her. You have a child together, at least for 18 years. You got to deal with this female. So how do you break a soul tie from a woman that you have a child with? On top of that, a lot of cats are out here. I mean, let's just keep it real. A lot of us are smashing off at work. A lot of us have girlfriends and boyfriends at work. You know what I mean? I've seen it. So what happens when you date a guy at work or fellas? What happens if you date a young lady at your job? It's hot and heavy and heated for 6 months, a year and a half. You develop a strong soul tie, a strong bond, a strong connection with this woman, and y'all break up. And you can't leave. You still got to go to work. You still have rent to pay. You still got to put gas in your car. So how do you unravel the soul tie to a woman that you got to see every day? How do you break a soul tie from a woman that sits 2 cubicles down from you? That she's so close, you can hear conversations that she had with her girlfriends at lunch about where they're going and what lounge they're going to and what she's going to wear and what color she's going to put on her toes and all of that. How do you break a tie when you're that close? We're going to get into that too. It's the man cave, man. You know what I mean? Look, I'm going to be all the way honest with you. I'm going to be transparent. That's the goal of this channel. I told y'all before, man. It's to give y'all some game and tell y'all the truth. You know what I mean? It's real. A lot of people out here are getting into relationships with people they work with people they met at the gym, with people they met at their church. You know what I'm saying? So y'all running around, y'all having sex, you're in a relationship, you develop these strong ties, these strong bonds, these strong connections, and then the relationship fizzles out. And you sitting here as a man, and your soul is tied to this woman. You can't get her off your mind. You can't stop thinking about her. You know what I mean? And her cubicle is 3 doors down from yours. Y'all sit on the same pew at church. That's how you met her. Y'all met in the choir. You know what I'm saying? You met in the same class at the gym. You know what I mean? What you gonna do? I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? But it happens, man. Because think about it like this. I know people say I ain't getting involved with somebody at work that's too close. I don't mix business and pleasure. I've heard all the cliches, you know what I mean? Straight up. But a lot of people understand that you spend more time at work than you do at home. You spend 8 hours a day at your job. And most of us, when we go to work, we have to dress up. We got to wear a button down. We got to wear a tie. We have to wear, the ladies have to wear, a nice dress. She has to wear a nice pantsuit, a nice skirt or whatever. So everybody at work, when you go to work, you got to look your best. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, you gotta have a nice edge up. You gotta have your hair done. You gotta have your nails and toes done. Everybody's at their best at work. And you're around these people for 8 hours a day. And then you have these conversations with people that at work that you really shouldn't be having conversations about your personal life, about your sex life, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So you spend more time awake at your job than you do at home. So a lot of people form relationships. I've seen at my agency here in Washington, D.C., I can name at least 5 or 6 couples who got married, who both work at our agency. They met on the job. And for every one of those 5 or 6 couples that I can name for y'all, I can name 4 to 5 for each one that was dating somebody at the job, and they broke up, and it ended on a bad note, and they still had to see this person every day at the job. You know what I mean? Sasha, what you got for me? Do you believe in soul ties from past lives? Yes, I do. You know what I mean? Yes, I do. I went to Ghana before I went to Africa, and before I met my wife, and I spent 2 weeks there. And a part of my time there, I was in a village in Ghana, and I went there, and the chief was there, and the chief had like 8 wives, and he had 32 kids with all these wives. And I went into the village with me and my friends, and they opened up the village for us. They cooked for us. The women danced for us. Had a great time. And the elders in the community pulled me to the side, and they told me that I basically came back home, that in a previous life, I was here. I was here in this country, in this village. And it threw me for a loop, but I do believe, like I said before, the human body is it's energy, and energy does not die. Energy is only transferred. So I do believe to an extent, I do believe in previous lives, and soul ties can be like that. Like when I was doing research for this show, there are so many different levels to this thing. You have soul ties, you have karmic relationships, you have twin flames, you have false flames. You know what I mean? You have all these things. Like, y'all look some of this stuff up. I ain't gonna go into it deep because we'd be here for a while. We'd be here for at least another couple hours. I'm not gonna do that to y'all. I'm not gonna do that to myself. But twin flames, karmic relationships, soulmates. Y'all look these things up. And within them, especially like a twin flame. A twin flame, to my understanding, is when it is believed that you and a person were once considered one consumption of energy. You were considered one person. And then in a previous life, or in a spirit or in ancestral realm, you two separated. And so in the physical and with the contractual agreement in the spirit realm, that you will find each other in the physical realm at a certain strategic point in your life to help get you over the hump, to be the mirror for you to be able to see yourself. This is twin flames right here. Or excuse me, yeah, that's the twin flame energy. So it gets very deep. So with a twin flame, you guys were one body, you were one flesh, you were one entity in another realm, in another life, and you separated under a contract, under an agreement that you would meet at a certain point in this physical life to be a mirror for each other, to complete one another, to help you to get over an obstacle, or to help you to get over a certain point in your life that you wouldn't be able to get over without that person. It's heavy. You know what I'm saying? It's heavy. And so with that, you meet a person, and all of a sudden you just feel one with this person. Like y'all feel like, yo, it's like I know this person my whole life. You know what I'm saying? They get me. They hear me. They understand me. They can relate to me. You know, they can finish my sentences. It's like we're the same person. You know what I mean? It's like we're one. And if you understand or you believe in that twin flame concept, in another lifetime, in another realm, you were one. But y'all separated so that this person could come back to you in this life and be a mirror for you, to show you the things that you need to see in order to improve yourself, to get you over the hump and to be able to accomplish whatever task or obstacle you're trying to get over or accomplish in this previous life. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to come back. I'm gonna have to come back and do that. And I mean, I see that struck a nerve. I'm gonna have to get some of my people who I know are real deep into that on the show, and we'll talk about it. You can have more than, to my understanding, based upon my research, you can have more than one twin flame. You know what I mean? It's deep. You have twin flames, you have soulmates. But no, I think a twin flame is, if I remember it correctly, that's really only like one person. You could have a soulmate. You can have more than one soulmate. You can have more than one karmic relationship. A karmic relationship is basically just a seriously intense sexual fling that it's not designed to last for a long period of time. But to my understanding, I believe a twin flame, a real flame, is you only get one of those in your life. You only get one of those. I have to go back in my notes and confirm that, and then I'll bring it back to y'all, you know, maybe in another show, or I'll post it on my community page on YouTube or Instagram or on Twitter or Facebook or something like that. But to my understanding, you only gonna get one flame, one twin flame. You know what I mean? But but it's real. So a lot of these brothers, so the first thing you got to do, man, is forgive yourself. You know what I mean? You made a mistake. You know what I mean? Or you didn't make a mistake. You know what I mean? But you got to move on. You got to let go. You know what I mean? You can't allow this person, you know what I mean? You can't allow this person or this tie to consume you. You know what I mean? You got to move on. You know what I mean? Guys deal with breakups in a myriad of different ways. It really depends on the guy. But guys go through a lot of different phases. When we break up with someone and it's like a real serious soul tie, the first thing we do is we hurt. You know what I mean? We're hurt. Like, how could this woman do this? You know what I mean? How could she do this to me? You know what I'm saying? How can, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it. How can this person do it? You know what I mean? Like, I did everything right. So first you kind of feel sad by it. Then you get angry. So you get mad. So you're like, yo, I can't believe that this person would do me like that. Now you mad. Now anybody that comes around you that talks to you slick, you got an attitude. You want to cuss everybody out. You know what I mean? Everybody that, that look like your ex, everybody that sound like your ex, everybody on Facebook that post things that your ex would post. Now you mad. You know what I mean? So you get mad. So so first you sad, then you mad, then you really start to think about the situation, and you start to understand that, look, sometimes it's not really that you did anything wrong, man. Sometimes, fellas, look, man, sometimes you guys just weren't meant to be together. That chick she's not a bad woman. Y'all weren't meant to be together. Could she have, like I said before, could she have gone about it in a better way and not cheated on you, or not, you know what I mean, or not took your money or whatever? You know what I mean? Of course she could have did that. You know what I'm saying? Of course she could have did it. But it is what it is, man. So guys, like, if we break up with a female, sometimes, most of the time, we're going to avoid people. We're going to go in our man cave, man. You know what I'm saying? Where a lot of females, like, y'all have y'all friends or whatever, and your friends like, yo, let's get out the house. Let's go to the spa. Let's go get our toes done. Let's go, do whatever. Guys don't really move like that. And when we do move like that, it's obvious that we don't really want to be there. You know what I mean? So like we like to avoid people. Sometimes, just to be all the way honest, a lot of times we will distort the truth. We'll paint this woman out to be horrible when it really wasn't her fault. It was you. It was you. Go back, man. I was gonna put a post up. Like, y'all go back and watch Insecure. I'm a huge Insecure fan. My wife and I love the show. We watch it. You know what I mean? This last season that just passed, there was a very, I can't remember the episode it was, but there was a part in there where Issa and the dude, I can't remember his name right now, but they were sitting down at Lawrence, and they were sitting down at a restaurant, and they were basically talking about their relationship and why they broke up. And he asked her some real questions. He was like, yo, why'd you choose Daniel? Why did you cheat on me with him and all of that? And she told him the truth. She was like, yo, you were in a rut, and it was, and you stopped talking to me. We stopped laughing. We stopped going places. We stopped having sex. And, you wouldn't let me in. You know what I'm saying? Like, you wouldn't let me in. And then she asked him about it. And he said, yo, I couldn't let you in because every day you went out, like in the show, he wasn't working. In like the first season, Lawrence didn't have a job. So he was like, yo, he said, I didn't want to communicate with you because just seeing you get up and go to work every day was a constant reminder for me of how much a failure I was. So here's the woman that I love, the woman that I want to be with. And just seeing her every day makes me feel worse. It makes me feel more like a failure because she's making moves and I'm not. You know what I mean? So a lot of times, man, we will distort the truth. You see all these guys talking about these females. All they want is these thugs, and all they want is these bum rappers, and all these guys with 5 or 6 kids. No, they don't. Actually, she wanted you, but you dropped the ball. You messed it up. You cheated. You lied. You said you were somebody that you really weren't. You know what I mean? She acquiesced to your leadership, and you dropped the ball on more than one occasion. You proved to her over time that you weren't formed and fashioned to lead. And so she dropped you for it. You know what I mean? She dropped you for it. And then instead of you admitting your faults, now you want to come out here and get on social media and let the world know that it was her. She lied. She cheated. She didn't appreciate you. Nah, that's not the truth. You know what I mean? It's really not. Let's just keep it a buck. I see I got a few experts in here on this, on these twin flame joints. Look, y'all stop playing, because what I will do is give the people what they want. So if y'all want to do a show, you know what I mean, on twin flames and soulmates and stuff like that, I see Sasha in the building. I see Jacqueline. I see y'all going. I see Peace. I see y'all doing it. Don't play with me, because I'm gonna put my email up and y'all can email me. Sasha, you already know what it is. You can hit me on Instagram. You got everything, I think, all the contact info. So y'all better quit playing, because if not, we could do a show on this and break it down and go deeper with it. But yeah, man. So brothers, man, you gotta forgive yourself, man. You have to forgive that woman too. You gotta let go. You gotta put that bag down, because what an unhealthy soul tie will do is it will wear you down. You won't be able to move on. You could find a woman could come into your life who could be perfect for you, who could be perfect for you. She loves you. She cooperates with you. She compliments you. She submits to you. She really loves you. She respects you. All of that. You can meet this perfect woman for you, but you're not psychologically or emotionally in a place to lead a woman like that, because your soul is tied to somebody else. A lot of us as men, let's just keep it real. A lot of us as men have messed up a lot of great potential relationships because we weren't ready. When I went through a bad breakup, there were women there that really were into me, that were like, yo, I can be that one. But because I was vibrating on a lower level, all I wanted to do was rebound with them and smut them out to get my swagger back, because my mind and my soul was still attached to somebody else. That didn't mean me any good. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it real. Like, you can miss out on something special by not releasing from this soul tie, man. You know what I mean? You can do that. You got to break up out of there, man. You got to let it go. Break that tie, because if you don't, it's going to wear you down. It's going to help. It's going to put you in situations where you're going to miss out on great opportunities. You're going to miss out on a great woman because your soul is tied to somebody else. You're still metaphysically connected to a woman that don't want you, that don't care nothing about you. And in the process of you trying to reach out to this woman, if you trying to, stalk her Facebook pages and try to get back with her and showing up at her gym, and you know what I mean, and acting like you just happen to be, in the neighborhood of her job and stuff like that, you missing out on. There's a woman that sees you, that's like, yo, man, I really like him. You know what I mean? I just hope he see me. His mind is so gone. It's his mind is so preoccupied with whatever, because this new girl might not know that you have. She ain't gonna know. She's not going to know that you have a soul tie to another woman. You know what I mean? But she's gonna say, look, I really like this guy, and whatever. And when he sees me, he can have whatever he looks at. If he's looking over here and he sees me, whatever he sees over here, he can have. And you're not going to be in a position to receive that, to lead that, and to allow that to nourish and nurture you, because your soul is tied to another woman. So it's going to wear you down. You got to let it go. You can't move on. You know what I mean? A lot of cats is, a lot of brothers, when we break up, we should focus on ourselves. We should do that post-game recap and say, yo, what happened? Why did it happen? What role did I play in it? How can I be better next time? How can I get better? And then move forward. But a lot of us don't do that. A lot of us, we run quickly to the next woman to pump and dump to get our swagger back. And then in the process of that, this new chick, that we pumping and dumping in could develop a soul tie. And we don't like her like that, but she likes us like that. Or you could do it, and then she gets pregnant and she keeps the baby. So you got all this dysfunction going on. You know what I mean? You got all this dysfunction going on, and it's all because you haven't broken that tie. You so frustrated because your heart is broke, and you tied to a woman that don't want you. You out here skeeting and everything. You out here breaking other women's hearts, thinking that it's going to help you heal, and it's not. You're not going to heal in the womb of another woman that you don't really want. You're not. The only way you're going to heal is if you look in the mirror and you find yourself and you focus on your own self-improvement. That's it. You want to give somebody something, a man that's whole. You want to give somebody a man that's whole, man. You know what I mean? Not with holes all in you, not with holes everywhere in your body, with wounds, with somebody who's whole, somebody who's complete, somebody who's happy, who's comfortable in their own skin. That's what you want to give to yourself. And that should be what you want to give to a woman and to this world, man. You know what I mean? You can't contribute to the culture with holes and wounds all in you that haven't healed, that you haven't allowed time to heal. How do you heal? When you go to the doctor, let's say you got a real bad cut, or you having surgery, or you're pregnant and you're about to have a baby, you're going to the hospital, you're going into surgery to heal, to fix something, or to heal, or to get healing. One of the first things that the doctor does is he clears out the room. Only people in this room are people that's supposed to be here. The doctors, the nurses, and you. That's the only people in that room. Your cousin can't go in that room. Your side chick can't go in that room. Your homies can't go in that room. Only people who can go in that room are people who have been trained and people who are focused on healing your wound. And everything that they use to help you heal has been sanitized. That room has been sanitized. So all types of negative energy, all types of dirt, of dust, anything that could cause you to get infected, they cleaned it. They've cleansed it. What does that mean? That is emblematical, or that is metaphorical of having a clean and healthy environment to heal. You got to put yourself in a healthy environment to heal, homie. You can't be around the same people and the same energy that has you tied to a woman that don't love you. You leave her alone. Get away from you. Get away from her. Leave her alone. She's moved on. Put yourself in a healthy environment, man. And allow only people and only allow people around you who can really help you, who really want to help you. And allow them to help you. Allow them to help you to heal. And then when that surgery is done, when that procedure is done, you give yourself time. That doctor will make sure your vitals are stable. And then they'll discharge you and they'll tell you to go home. And usually they'll tell you to get some rest. You need a rest period, my G. Running around, pumping and dumping in women, that's not rest. You need rest. You need rest from women. You need rest from the lounge. You need rest from the hookah bar. You need rest. You need to go home and just have some alone time and contemplate your life and what you want your legacy to be in this life. We're all on borrowed time. I just turned 39 years old. Chadwick Boseman died at 43. And he had prostate cancer for 4 years, which means that he found out he had prostate cancer when he was my age. And that brother's healthy, perfect, was in perfect shape. He wasn't overweight. He was in perfect shape. Found out at 39, he had prostate cancer, died at 43. He's gone. I think about that every day. What type of legacy do I want to leave? What type of contribution do I want to leave and put and bring to the culture? And you got to think about that too. And you can't bring a positive contribution to the culture being tied to a dysfunctional situation. You have to let it go. It's holding you back from being great, homie. And I want you to be great. I believe you can be great. But you got to let go of her. You got to let her go. I hear you. I know that sex was good. I know she did some things that you had never experienced. But let me tell you something as a man. Let me tell you something from experience. Let me tell you something from a place of being around the block, of living life. You know what I mean? Of being on the block, of being in the block and in the boardroom. Let me tell you about life. When you have something that you think you'll never get again, you'll never get it that good, life is going to bring you something better. But life tends to not bring you something better until you become better. What that woman did to you sexually, the woman that you're going to end up being with once you get your mind right is going to make your ex look basic. That's my word. I'm telling you from experience. I was in relationships where I was tied to a woman and I thought it would never get better than this. I ain't going to never have sex this good. And that's a lie. My wife is, I ain't going to put it out there, but you get what I'm saying. That's life, man. I'm telling you. Just live. Just live. I know you hurting. It's okay to hurt, man. It's okay to be mad. It's okay to cry even. You know what I mean? I would keep that to yourself because this world ain't really necessarily designed for black men to be vulnerable. It's not. So be mindful of who you being vulnerable around. Be mindful of who you talking to, of who you allow to see you at your weakest points. be mindful of that. Be cognizant of who you put around you. You feel me? But get better, because better things are going to come when you get better. You know what I mean? But you got to let her go. You got to avoid her like the plague, man. You got to rest. You got, you had that surgery. You allowed yourself to heal. You allowed yourself to, to go through the phases of recovery. And now you need time to rest. And then during that rest period, you focus on yourself. You focus on your growth and development. You live your life. You know what I mean? Do things that you always wanted to do that you hadn't had a chance to do yet because you were tied to a woman that didn't love you. You know what I mean? Travel some. Go see your favorite musician at a concert. Read a book. You know what I mean? Go do something dope. Find yourself. Get away from that negative situation and find yourself. That looks like a lot of things. Obviously, self-improvement is a kaleidoscope of colors. There's a lot of things involved with that. But but don't focus on that relationship, and don't focus on that woman. Don't focus on that tie. Focus on yourself. And you'll be all right, man. And you can break that tie, you can move on. But I'm telling you, as long as that tie is there, you're stagnant. You can't move. Opportunities are going to pass you by. A great woman is going to come, and you're going to fumble. You're going to drop the ball because you're not in a position to take advantage of having a good woman who wants to be with you, who wants to cater to you. We've all done it. I've done it. Like I said, there were some good girls, man, who probably went on to become great wives and mothers themselves. But, they came to me at a point in my life where I couldn't accept them. Maybe because of my wife being my twin flame. It happened that way because it was supposed to happen that way. You know what I mean? They weren't supposed to be my wife. I wasn't supposed to open up to them and accept them because they weren't supposed to be they weren't the one I was supposed to be with. You know what I mean? But you can do it, man. I'm not gonna hold y'all, man. I want to thank y'all for listening to me, man. Soul ties is a very deep subject. You know what I mean? I believe in it wholeheartedly. I do. There are a lot of brothers out here who have a soul tie to a woman that they shouldn't have one to, and it's holding them back in their life. It's making them they're spending their time, they're spending their energy on this soul tie, and they're not living their life. They're not fulfilling their purpose in life because they're tied to someone from a negative relationship, and they can't let go, or they won't let go. I believe in that. I believe in it because I was there. It wasn't just the fact that about me not getting with a good woman, but because my soul was tied to somebody that I wasn't that it wasn't supposed to be tied to. It affected every aspect of my life. It made me doubt myself. It made me less confident in myself. And there are a lot of brothers who are like that. They're yearning for somebody who doesn't want them, and it's messing up their head. It's messing up their confidence. And everybody around them is looking like, yo, I don't get it. Like this dude is handsome. He's got money. Why is he acting like this? Why is he acting scared? Why is he acting like he's not sure of himself? Why is he not confident? How come he can't stand in a room with, in front of 5 people and not say 3 words without stuttering and fumbling over himself? It doesn't matter how you look. There are brothers who are very, who are model-esque, who fall victim to a soul tie. There are millionaires. There are men out here with all the money in the world who fall victim to soul ties. Tied to a woman that doesn't want them. And they can't get past them. How many times did he do? Diddy did I Need a Girl 8 times. Diddy did, at least, he did I Need a Girl 8 times, man. You know what I mean? That man got all the money in the world. The man has tens upon tens of thousands of women who would do anything for him tonight, who won't say no to nothing he wants. But he got with J-Lo and she left him, and that man did 6 I Need a Girls, an English version and a Spanish version. You know what I'm saying? So yo, it's real, man. It don't matter about your money or your look or your success. But on that note, man, if nobody has any questions, I'm going to let y'all go. Again, thank you guys so much for the show. I do want to announce that I've heard the call. I've heard the people. The people have been asking me for my wife. They've been saying, Rasha, where's Rasha at? We need her on the show. We want y'all to talk about a few things about marriage, about your relationship, whatever. I have heard it. I have read the emails. I've heard it in the chat. I read it in the chat. I've heard it all over the place. So next week, I'm going to oblige y'all, man. Next week, my wife and I are going to do our first show together. I'm going to let y'all know right now. We're going to do our show next week. The first of many shows together. But next week's show is going to be called The Spirit. And I think it's The Spirit and the Science of Synergy. So we're going to be talking about synergy and relationships and complimenting and cooperating and all of that. And I'm going to let my wife do her thing and let y'all know how that goes down from a wife's point of view. Being my wife for 14 years, putting up with me and all my mess. She's going to talk to y'all next week and break it down. So we're going to have fun. So on that note, if you have not already, please like, subscribe to the channel, share the content. The channel has grown leaps and bounds, man. I'm at over 1,400 subs. I think about maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago, I was at 1,000. I don't even think I've been at 1,000 a month. And then, it's been growing like crazy. So I'm at a little bit over 1,400 subs. I'm very happy for that. That's due to y'all, liking the stuff, subscribing, commenting, sharing it, all of that. So I'm very appreciative of, for y'all for that. So let me see what we got right here. Yeah. So please do that. If you want to, contribute financially to the channel, you can do so. I am monetized now, so the super chat is open. I'm still on Cash App and PayPal as well. If you want to send it via Cash App, you can do that at $ViewFromTheManCave. If you want to send it PayPal, you could do it at paypal.me/ViewFromTheManCave. And as well, again, I am monetized now on YouTube, so you can send it through YouTube as well. Also, if you have any suggestions, any comments, y'all already see that this Man Cave Mail series is popping off. It's doing very well. So I'm on episode. We've done episode 3 tonight. I already have like episode 4 and 5 coming. It's just about scheduling it right now. So if you have any comments, questions, concerns, you can email me, frankjrivers@gmail.com. If you want a consultation, if you say, Frank, look, man, I really, really want to talk to you about something. I don't want you to necessarily put it, into the form of a show, but I really want to talk to you, just, man to man, or woman to man about something I'm going through. You can do that. I have 30-minute slots. I have an hour slots. We can schedule that. If you send an email and request that, I will let you know the rates at that time. But if that's on your heart to do so, you could please do that. And we'll make that happen. So again, man, y'all be safe. We're going to see what happens with this election. Right now, a lot of people are getting scared because, Trump is doing his thing in some of these battleground states. Like I called it, I did predict Donald Trump to win. We'll see what happens, but a lot of people are getting nervous right now. Trump is doing his thing in some of these swing states. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Hopefully we'll know by our next show, on Tuesday. But until then, man, I love y'all. Y'all be safe. Wash your hands. I'm very excited about this weekend. I'm doing the self-improvement summit with C Boog and Rom and cousin T Raw, all these cats, man, these dope brothers. I'm be honored to be in the same building with them, share the same, podium with them. So I'm looking forward to that. And I'll let y'all know how that went next Tuesday for the show. Again, so y'all be safe, man. Wash your hands. We are still in a pandemic. Wear your mask. Y'all be safe. Until next time, until next Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. I'm out.